Hi guys, and welcome to the video for homework help on complex rational expressions. So in this video I'm going to do 1, 5, and then I'm going to do one of the later problems just to make sure that we have a handle on all the different types of problems that you might encounter. So let's just get started with number 1. So number 1 is similar to example 6. In the video, I wanted to start off easy on the homework assignment and use complex fractions, which qualify as complex rational expressions. But I just wanted us to be able to work with numbers for the first couple of ones like this so that we kind of get the hang of it. In the numerator, I need to make sure that I write it as 4 over 1. And then I'm going to write that as divided by, in parentheses here, 3 fourths minus 3 halves. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and flip both of those in order to rewrite it. So it'd be 4 over 1 multiplied by, and I'm going to still use a bracket here, but it is 4 thirds minus 2 thirds. You're going to flip both of those. You flip everything in the denominator. And then I already have a common denominator with 3 and 3. Originally, I would not have had a common denominator, but because I flipped and now have 3 in both denominators, I do not need to create another one. So all I need to do is subtract those. And if I do, I get 4 over 1 times, and then 4 minus 2 would be 2 on the top over 3. So then I would get 8 thirds as my final answer. So let's take a look at number 5. I'm going to do almost the same thing, but a little bit differently. In the top, I'm going to write x over 1. And then that's divided by, and then in brackets here, 3 over x plus 1 over x. So I am going to use the opportunity I have here to combine these like terms because the denominators are already the same. In the previous problem, I used it to my benefit to flip them first and then combine like terms. You can combine like terms first if they already have a common denominator, and then you can flip them after. So it becomes x over 1. And it's going to keep the division sign. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then since it's addition over x. And then we're going to go ahead and flip that into multiplication. So it would be x over 1 times x over 4. So our final answer becomes x times x on the top is x squared. And then 1 times 4 on the bottom, since we're multiplying, is x squared over 4. So I hope that you can kind of see the difference between the two. And the one on the left, because I could create a common denominator by flipping them, that's what I did first. Because I couldn't create a common denominator, there already was a common denominator, and the one at number 5, I didn't flip it. I added them together first, and then I flipped it. Either way is acceptable. Usually it's whatever's to your benefit. And the next one I did is number 12. So number 12 kind of ramps up in difficulty from number 1 and 5, which is exactly why I wanted to go over it. The first thing that we're going to do is rewrite this as the product, or we're going to write it as division here. So 16 over m minus 3. And then take away 4 over m minus 4. Okay, so again, I'm going to put that in a bracket to represent that this is the entire numerator and it needs to happen first. Divided by, and then it's the same thing on the bottom. That's going to be in a bracket as well. So it's going to be 16 over m squared minus m, take away 4, m minus 4 over m minus 3. So we're going to have to create quite a few common denominators here. I'm going to start with the top fraction, and I'm going to flip this first before I create my common denominator. So the top fraction, I can realize that I am going to need to create m minus 3 times m minus 4 as my common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this side by m minus 4 over m minus 4. I'm going to multiply this side m minus 3 over m minus 3. And on the left, or on the right side, in that bracket, all I'm going to do is flip them first using the flip factor cancel rewrite for division. Nope, not purple. I want black. So we're going to put a multiplication sign in there. And the bracket on the right is going to be m squared over 16 minus m minus 3 over m minus 4. And immediately, before I even rewrite the left side, what I am going to do is I am going to try to find a common denominator between these two things here. I realized that 16 and m minus 4, I'm just going to need to multiply by each other in order to make a common denominator. So we'll do m minus 4 over m minus 4. And here we will do 16 over 16. And then on the other side, m minus 4 times 16. So we're going to multiply those all out. We're going to get 16m take away 64. And then the bottom of the fraction, I'm probably going to need to drag this over to create space. The bottom of the fraction would be m minus 4 times m minus 3. And the bottom of the other fraction will be the exact same thing. So we're going to enclose those in some brackets here. Take away, and then on the top, 4 times m minus 3 would be 4m take away 12. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple things here as well. I'm going to combine this here. That's too big. I want size 18 font, please. I'm going to combine these here. And then for these ones over here, I'm going to multiply out. So on the left side, 16m take away 4m is 12m. Negative 64 take away negative 12, so it's negative 64 plus 12 is going to be negative 52 over, and then that's going to be the same denominator. And that rational expression is now completely simplified and combined. And that's multiplied by, and then over here, we still have the bracket. M squared times m is going to make m cubed on top. M squared times negative 4 would be minus 4m squared. On the bottom, we will have 16m minus 64. And then it'll be the same thing on the other side. It'll be the same denominator, 16m minus 64. And then on the top here, it'll be 16m take away 48. So now what we need to do, and I'm going to switch back to my type, is we need to combine these. So the left side here will stay exactly the same. Just going to duplicate it. It'll stay exactly the same. On the right side, I am going to get m cubed minus 4m squared minus 16m minus 48. So m cubed minus 4m squared minus 16m minus 48. And the bottom would be 16m minus 64. And now I would need to try to factor anything I could. Looking back, it might have been better to keep these two expressions on the top and the bottom to be not multiplied out. So I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to rewrite them as products without actually multiplying them out. Just because it'll probably save us some time. We have m squared times m minus 4 minus 16 times m minus 3. So the top here would be m squared times m minus 4, take away 16 times m minus 3. And while it looks like we are going to be able to cancel some stuff here, I don't think anything's going to be able to actually cancel because on the top here we have this negative sign. We have a binomial on the top here. This is one term and one term over here, times multiple binomials here and here. You could do some factoring. You could get 2 out of here. You can actually do a 4, so it'd be 4 times 3m take away 13. And then you would have m minus 4 times m minus 3 multiplied by the top. You can't really factor anything out because unfortunately m squared is 16, don't have anything in common. M to the 4th, m minus 3 do not have anything in common as well. But the bottom of your fraction, so m squared times m minus 4 minus 16 times m minus 3. The bottom, we could factor out a 16 again, so it'd be 16 times m minus 4. And at this point, I think we are pretty much out of options. The only thing you could really cancel here would be the 4 over here with the 16 on the bottom, because the only thing between them is multiplication. So you could do the 16 here and the 4. So this would be a 1, and this would be reduced down to a 4. And honestly, at this point, we are kind of out of simplification options. And I know that it looks like it can be simplified, but I'm telling you that it cannot. Your final answer would be 3m minus 13 over the denominator here. I'm going to take the denominator. I don't want to rewrite it. Times, and then you would have m squared times m minus 4 minus 16 times m minus 3, which again, I wish we could factor the top because it would cancel out so much stuff on the bottom. 4 times m minus 4 on the bottom, and that is our final answer. So that one is a pretty tough one. I really expected a couple more things to cancel, but unfortunately, because we have m squared minus 16 in there, and that minus sign, I'm going to point it out to you. I'm going to point out basically the cause of all the problems. This minus sign here is the reason that we cannot cancel this, or the m minus 4s on the bottom, because unfortunately, this whole expression up here is the binomial. And there are no other copies of that binomial anywhere. And you cannot just cancel parts of a binomial. Like you couldn't cancel this m minus 4 with this one because that would be canceling parts. So we can't do that. So this is as simplified as it's going to get. That was a really long one. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.